5-3 behind. I know you did most of the afternoon session, Darren. How did you think the match went in your opinion?
Probably it was a true reflection, really. 5-3 up to Neil Robertson. I think he was more the positive out of the two. What was quite noticeable is Ronnie OSullivan turned down a lot of the long shots that he'd been going for all week and getting them. He's trying to be a little bit too careful. But so on reflection, I suppose it was a fair result, 5-3. I think Ronnie would have been happy with that.
Black out of play, so may decide to pot this, and he's once again having trouble with that little tip. He's got some fibre hanging off the edge. Just done across the face of the pink, with the pink in the opposite middle. Try to go up with blue or bought colour. So the long ones have not been going in today so far.
Yes, and that's probably been the strong part of his game all week. Against Mark Selby, it was quite frightening. But it's quite low for him today, 43%. Robertson has landed. Well, he's on pink or black. And when Ronnie did miss that red then, when he played it at pace, the one red come across and disturbed the black, and a couple of reds to make the balls into a potable position. This is just what Neil Robertson would have wanted before he come out. Nice early opportunity just to settle himself down. The butterflies will be a jangle in there.
Pretty sure the black will still pot when he goes back onto his own spot. I think he's just off its spot at the moment. It'll certainly be available into one of the corners, if not both.
8.
Doesn't have the angle to move one of the two reds just above the black. He seems to be virtually straight. I think he can run around two cushions. At least one of the two reds will pot in the opposite corner to the black. It almost goes unnoticed what a great break builder Robertson is. And to have made 100 competitive centuries 2 seasons ago, I think that's a feat that will never ever be done again.
15.
So very soon the black will be well into both corners. A very good early chance.
16. 23.
Splits turned out nice. He was never really going to get onto one into the bottom pocket of that split.
13.
The fact that he caught that red, there's only one available into the middle. That is a mistake, just when I thought he was going to go on to possibly win the relatively easy pot. First glance, it looked like he may have covered it, but I'm sure Ronnie can swerve round if he doesn't fancy anything else. Decided to take the long pot, play for green or brown. little bit betwixt and between,
One.
not nicely on the green, not nicely on the yellow, but with the red being over the middle, shouldn't be any problem at all.
He certainly got
Three.
into that yellow. Another 2 or 3 inches and this red would have been unpotable. I think it'd be a bit of a relieved Ronnie there.
4.
Of course, Neil Robertson, with his last effort, would have been expecting probably to have won this frame and re-established his 3-frame lead. We'll talk about body blows and turning points in matches, and could this be the turning point that Ronnie's been looking for?
He'll be playing in an area this time, playing for the choice of 2 reds, one in the middle or one in the corner. And when you're not settling, when you're not settled in the
6.
early part of the match, it's always best to play for choice of 2. Bit shorter, he'd have been on the middle. The fact that he's played it there is on the one in the bottom.
7.
And now has an excellent chance to get right back into the frame, if not win it.
$14. $30. 31.
Well, he could play the risky shot and try and move the red from the side cushion. He can obviously just drag back for the 2 reds to the right, which he's done. Can't blame him for playing it that way. He's right back in this
37.
frame now. But he is going to need that awkward red on the left cushion.
Yes, now the work
38.
starts, doesn't it? You can see him getting the one remaining loose red, but 2 reds that are on the cushion. He needs both of those. So they'll be looking for the angle this time on either pink or blue to get that cannon.
44.
It's come a little bit thin to get onto either of those colours, so may have to go for yellow or green. The reason I say yellow or green, because he wants to be on it half full to get back into the middle of the table there. He's got perfect on the green. Also just perfect on the brown. I think but the green may have been easier to get onto the one next to the black, but he's decided the brown. That wiped its feet, but the position is perfect.
49.
And now if he gets on the half full black, he's got an excellent chance to bring the last red out. Do I play the pot or do I play
57.
safe?
Ronnie OSullivan, 57.
It's a very well played shot. No point really in taking the risk on that red. He probably potted 1 in 10. Only if Neil Robertson got to make contact with this red, he's somehow got to get it safe. He'd love to come off the 2 cushions and get right in behind the red.
There's a slight chance he could swerve around the yellow and try and make the angle, which he is doing, but of course if he misses the red, he's sure to cannon into the black. That was the problem.
Foul. Gonna miss.
That'll be
Ronnie
put back.
OSullivan, 7.
Yes, and looking at that, I don't think he could get much more side on the cue ball. Maybe that shot isn't quite on. It's imperative the cue ball goes back in the exact same place this time.
Wasn't much.
I think he's just suggesting it's a little bit further off the
Yeah.
cushion than that, so he could can't really get to the bottom of the cue ball if it's that close to the cushion. And he could easily got to the bottom of the cue ball.
Yeah, you could see the blue full ball, that's why. Yeah.
But playing it slower has forced the angle. And that's a very good shot. Will he leave a shot to nothing for O'Sullivan? He has. Not been potting too many long ones today. The rest of the week, they've been potting everything. Head on the thin side to make sure he got a good white. That was a long way off, wasn't it? He knows the importance of this frame.
Another tempter for Ronnie. This is a shot he'll be practice a lot of. Well, he was a lot closer that time. This frame is still in the balance. The way these balls are situated, all it's going to take is one good pot.
Not the best safety shot Neil's ever played. If he wanted to play the cut, he could do with left-hand side, but he might just drag it in behind the black and pink. Well, he's played the pot. But it wasn't a great safety shot from Neil Robertson. And that time he played a shot for something. Played it slow enough for the side to take.
1.
26 points in front, just colour needed.
Three.
Well, 28-point lead. That was an
Ronnie OSullivan,
unexpected
3.
miss, but Boring Snooker's Ronnie OSullivan will be right back in the match at 5-4.
Two. Five.
Neil Robertson was in first with a break of 39. Mr. Red in to the middle pocket and looked like going 6-3 in front. Ronnie OSullivan in with the 57, which is taking him over the winning line in this frame. This is just a little bit of practice now.
14. $20.
So it was a frame that could have gone either way. Robertson was favourite, but OSullivan made a 57 break to pinch it. OSullivan back in the match now. It's 5-4.
No, that just, you know, it's those little infinitesimal errors or poor runs of the ball that can make such a difference in a match of this high quality. And, you know, that was a really good frame to watch. I enjoyed that. I mean, it was close. It was all on the last red in the end, really, even though the scores were in Ronnie's favour. One mistake on that red, I'm sure Neil would have won that frame.
Yeah, it's all about the small margins. Let's go back then with Robertson's lead now, just a single frame, 5-4.
And Ronnie, he was looking for the thinnest of edges there, and that was thin air. And normally Neil would have had this back, but he won't this time because he got a shot to this left corner. Oh, that's a great pot. Well, I'm saying a foul. He wouldn't have had it back because there was no foul. He must have got. Quite a positive character, Neil Robertson. There's not a lot that phases him. He's a very clever player. Sometimes in amongst the balls he can be quite deliberate. I think depending on who he's playing.
9.
He's a real class act.
$16.
Still got a couple of loose reds before he goes into the punch, but decided to go into them on that occasion. Fortunately for him, the cue ball didn't arc quick enough there. If the cue ball arcs quicker,
24.
the white catches the full ball of the front red, which would have slowed the white down. They have left choice of shots here. There's a plant that's on, and also he's had a look at the plant, having another look at it. Looked set from there, but where the cue ball is, it's very tough to be guaranteed. You think you'd make take the long one on instead rather than the plant.
I think he's been slightly unfortunate there as well, hasn't he? And unless his plant is straight to this corner, there's a lot of distance, like Willie said, between both balls. But in the last frame, he went into them positively. He did land on that red to the centre, but it wasn't easy. And again, the same this time. The red's gone in. He's nicely on the pink. He played a real positive shot off the black. He couldn't have hit the cue ball any harder. Didn't go into him tentative, that's for sure.
Well, missed an easy ball in the previous frame when looking like taking the frame. Is missed an easy ball in this frame. That was always hitting the near jaw. When I say easy, it wasn't the easiest. I expected him to get it.
1. $8. $9. $16. $7. 24.
With every pot that's going in, this will be hurting Neil Robertson. 2-8, and the way Ronnie's starting to look, you wouldn't bet against him levelling up in this match.
$32.
Yes, the balls were in a lot
33.
better position than they were in the previous frame, where Ronnie made the break of 57 to get past the winning line in that frame. So just 5 more of the remaining 6 reds with colours. Should take him over the winning line in this frame. That would be a bit of a body blow for Neil. He could have won both the opening frames. Looks like he could now lose them.
38. $39. $46. Ronnie OSullivan, 46.
He's looking at his tip. He's missed that one. He played a pile of other good shots. Just caught that a little bit thin. He didn't quite get onto that red right from the black. You know, Robertson isn't going to mind. You would have thought he's lost that frame. And what a great red. Obviously, if Robertson can go on now, get right back into this frame, maybe even pinch the frame now. It's funny saying pinch when it looks like he was going to win it in the first place, and then sort of swayed towards Ronnie. This is massive in the context of this final.
Yep.
Ronnie all week has hardly missed a ball when he's in play on any sort of break. He's virtually
16.
every time made a frame-winning break from the position he was in. Today it's not been quite the same.
70.
Now the blues just about right to get in behind the 2 reds in the get on the 2 reds in the pocket near where the pink is. From the pink he can't really get onto the 2 reds nicely. So thin as you like, it's all about judging the pace right. Probably have to play with a little bit of right hand side just to kind of widen the angle a little bit to drop in behind those 2 reds. Obviously it must be thinner than it looks from our commentary position. Maybe feels he can't get it slow enough to get in behind those 2 reds. He's played it. Wow. I didn't see that coming.
Ronnie Robertson, 70.
Very shaky start from these 2 great players.
That'll be a relief for Neil Robertson that he didn't find the position from the blue. Positive shot. Wasn't far away. Yeah, Ronnie.
1.
He's cued that. Very good indeed. Straight into the middle of the pocket.
8.
It's all about this shot. This one goes in. I think it's frame winner and match leveler. And in goes the red. The choices.
Well,
this is going to give Ronnie all sorts of confidence the way that Neil's missed easy chances.
70.
So without doing too much, a little glance at the scoreboard will tell him that he's going to win the opening 2 frames after potting this brown. Hasn't had to do too much.
21. 26.
Little exhibition shot
32
there
on the
from
frame.
Ronnie. Pink to black.
O'Sullivan.
Doesn't really matter about the black. He's won the frame. Ronnie OSullivan.
If both start afresh again, you might see some big breaks and far less errors. Who knows? But there's a lot of pressure out there. It's the final.
5-2 down at one point, Ronnie OSullivan. Now level at 5-5.
Without playing at his best. Neil Robertson has let Ronnie off the hook a little bit here. He was dominating the first session of play and has been in first on the 2 occasions in these first 2 frames. Not unless he's looking at the plant, but he'd be more concerned of getting good wide. I think we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he probably thought it might be going off that second red, but it looked like he was playing the plant direct. Let's have another look. Well, in fairness, I think he probably played it that.
Neil Robertson 1.
Well, Neil suggesting that may have drifted a little bit. Obviously played to get tight behind the yellow. The thing is, when you're playing that slow, if you don't hit it centre ball, the side will take.
All of a sudden, I start again. Not a great position at the moment. There's only a couple of reds
6.
out and black, I think. Black. Try and clear things up there.
Well, this isn't the Ronnie OSullivan or the Neil
Ronnie
Robertson we've been
O'Sullivan
seeing throughout the week. They're both missing a few. The tension of the final.
One.
Very similar to the pink that Neil Robertson that. Both pinks you'd expect these 2 great players to pot. His expression tells us he thought he had a big bounce there.
8.
I haven't quite worked out what that does when you kind of brushing the cushion there.
What he knows.
As it happens, the bounce did him a favour because he's finished absolutely perfect. The old flat back pack. Not guaranteed to get on one here. He has to play the stun through one of the outside ones. Doesn't want to kiss any of them full ball. There's 4 reds in a line. Half ball on any of them is okay. We'll be pushing one towards the middle. Doesn't like the pack at all, does he? I don't think he's even playing the cannon. Just shows you how awkward it is when they're flat at the back like that.
16. 70.
Well, he's going to have to come up with a shot because he's landed very straight on this black. He's looking at the one to the green pocket. He's
24.
over it, that one.
Every player has his own way of breakboarding. He's given himself plenty to do here. That's the problem when you don't go into the pack when you maybe have the first chance. You may not get it. So Ronnie will be sitting there thinking, well, you know, I could have been more behind than this. In the match, 11 out of 16 long pots for Neil Robertson, so his normal long potting is very good. Not quite as good as normal.
Neil Robertson, 25.
Lost his discipline a little bit. He wasn't guaranteed position even if he'd made that pot.
1.
Obviously for Neil, it's important he gets a frame on the board tonight. Every frame that goes by, he's going to get a little bit harder. He knows he's had his chances to win the opening 2 frames, and he's not capitalised on them.
6. Seven.
Depends on whether these reds are in a possible plant. You can see they're not in the plant from that pocket. There may be a plant in the other corner. We'll maybe be able to show you that in a few moments. Ronnie playing for the loose one, so he's a good angle on the, and the reds will split perfectly. If he gets on the half ball blue or the half ball pink and goes into those 4 reds, he'll be pushing one to both corners.
30.
Playing for the loose one this time. Let's have a look at these 4 reds, see if there's any plants anywhere. We know there's not one in the right hand corner. You can see there's not one in the left hand corner, so he's going to have to play a good shot on the black. Bring them into play. Doesn't really matter if he hits it full ball this time because he's going to be pushing one towards the middle. Ideally, he'd like to miss the first red and hit the outside of the others. That was the problem. He's always going to push one towards the middle. Because of the choice of reds.
36.
Odd. But he hasn't had to play at his best. Neil Robertson has given him far too many chances this evening.
53.
That's another frame on the board.
$58. 60.
O'Sullivan's highest break of the match so far has been 60 in frames 3 and 5. He's going to eclipse that here.
63.
But it's already his highest break in the match so far.
$67.
Should be able to pot this one. No pot this time, but the 67 more than enough for Ronnie OSullivan.
Going just yet. There's no way he's feeling as good as he did as he walked into the arena tonight. That's for sure. And he really...
Yeah, good point, Darren. I think this is a bigger frame for Neil Robertson now than it is for Ronnie. Ronnie will be just delighted to have got back into the match the way he's been playing. He's needed 2 chances in every frame so far this evening, and he's got them. You don't usually get that at this level.
Far away with that one. There's Robertson fans in there as well. It's good to see.
Well, Neil Robertson's made more mistakes in this opening 4 frames this evening than he's made in the tournament so far. Push a little bit square, that cut. Well, he may or may not have played that. I think he was probably trying to screw past the pack to go for blue or bought colour. We'll have a little look at that. So that's a little bit fortunate to have pink or black available. How many more pinks are they going to miss tonight?
Ronnie
That's
OSullivan.
the 4th pick that's been missed in the middle.
One.
Well, he'd love to import in this pink, disturb the red and black. And that'll do. He's nicely on the red. To right centre.
7.
See, pink spot is taken.
Eight.
This is a real good chance now when you feel that Neil Robertson's got to craft something with this effort. Fancies chances going 2 behind. This is massive for him.
Played the full ball cannon on the black there just to push it away. Caught the black 3/4 ball, but he's still on this red.
$15.
That's not his best. He'd be hampered queuing here.
21.
Very disappointed with that shot. Yep, that wasn't a bad shot. It was the one before, the shot on the pink. It was awful. Just concentrated so hard on not finishing straight on the red along the cushion. He just completely mishit it and left himself hampered over the pink. As in the first 3 frames, he's been in first and not put the frame to bed. Ronnie OSullivan's been playing catch-up every frame. Every frame so far he's done it.
Nota's played.
7.
He'll take it. Need to go around the back of that red. Handy little kiss.
Eight.
If that pink spot is still covered, and pot in this black is going to go as close to his own spot as possible. So, well, pink goes. So there's no problem. Not much room there. Just concentrate obviously on the pink.
40. $15.
The red at the back of the pack will pot into the right-hand corner, so he can play for that. And as Darren mentioned, he won't be playing to pot the black until the pink spot's available. Bounced a little bit higher than he
21.
thought. He's looking at the plant as well as the red at the back of the pack. The plant's on and the one at the back.
$22.
Not too sure if he's got an eye enough, has he? He's played for the red at the
28.
in the bunch in the middle, and his body language tells me he's not on it. That's the one he's played for, the one in the middle of those three reds. So is he playing the plant or just the safety? Playing the plant. That's more like the O'Sullivan we've been watching all week. Very dangerous plant, but made to look very easy.
Yes, and the O'Sullivan all week. He'd be going for this yellow or taking the long blue. He potted a couple of long blues, I guess, against Mark Selby, but it's the yellow tonight. 3 hours. This match has been going. Nicely negotiated.
And now it doesn't matter
31.
if he pots the black or the pink, because it will go back onto the pink spot.
$32.
So every frame Robertson's been in first. Every frame he looks like he could possibly lose it.
$39. $40.
Just having a look at the scoreboard here, he's trying to work out whether he would need one of the two reds. If he pots blacks with these remaining three reds, I think I've worked it out to be 43 in front. Just having a look at the scoreboard, he doesn't want to make a mistake. Mark Selby did exactly the same thing where he miscounted. Ended up having to
48.
play a shot off the black, which shouldn't have been doing. In front, he might not have a go at this red at the pace. He can actually just drop this in now, knowing that the worst that can happen is Robertson can draw. Well, it's a lot better performance from Ronnie this evening than it was this afternoon, but neither player this evening
70.
has played anywhere near their best. But O'Sullivan will be cock-a-hoop the fact that he's been given chance after chance.
Just going to wonder if the interval has helped Neil to calm down a little bit and give him some time to think. Because when you're out there and losing frames that you were hoping to win, it's very difficult to clear your mind sometimes. Oh, he's very strong normally. Won't be surprised if he comes back with Ronnie.
Yeah, I think we were just discussing off mic, Terry, before the players came out, that every frame he was in front in those first 4 frames of the evening session. And normally you'd expect Neil to win at least 3 of the 4 frames when he's in first. Didn't win any of them. So he's now got his back against the wall for the first time this week.
Good attempt, but you got anything
Shot
for
close.
that in Robertson's got to be knocking in now. Where's the shot to give him the confidence? He must have lost a bit. It's not that he's played that bad, it's just the odd shot here and there he's missed that's been costly.
Yes, I think in some ways we're expecting too much out of these two great players coming into this final. Common knowledge that everybody accepts that Ronnie OSullivan has been exceptional this week. Robertson in his own way has been almost just as good. And I think we're expecting a little bit too much. But Neil's going to have to be very careful now. He went 8-5 behind.
Seven. Eight.
How's the split? Looks good at first glance, but he's pushed the pink safe. Red's
14.
decision time. Does he risk playing to get onto the black in the middle pocket to get the black back onto its own spot? A little bit too risky to take the pink, even though it will go on the black spot. Played up for the blue. He didn't want to risk getting onto the black in the middle just in case he got the wrong angle. He's going to have to do that pretty soon, though. He won't be winning the frame off the blue alone.
$25. $26.
Nice little kiss on the blue.
$31. $32.
Good pot there from Ronnie, but he's not had a good angle on the blue, so you'll have to pull out another one. Not so bad this time. When the pot and angle's a little
37.
thicker, the players prefer it, but they don't like them too thin.
$38.
Yes, we've said many times in commentary, it's so difficult to win the frame off just blue and bought colours, and here's an example here, how tough it is. He'd love to get the black on the spot. Now he's moving this red away because it gives him room to get the black into both pockets, so can't do it off this one. This is
44.
the 7th blue coming up. I just wonder whether he's going to possibly win the frame. I've not seen many frames won off just blue alone. This is a possibility now.
$49. $50.
Overdone it a little bit this time. Just hold for the red there. Didn't have a lot to play with.
55. $56.
He likes the challenge, doesn't he, of all blues, I think. Well, you know what he's like. He likes the safety challenge sometimes if it's a good safety played against him. When he's in the right frame of mind, he can do anything.
I mean, can you remember... I bet you can count on one hand if you've ever won a frame off just potting the blues. He's got 8 blues and 1 pink. This will be the 9th blue. And he's 1 red away from making that a reality. Remarkable.
61.
So this virtually frame ball. Not this time though, so a lifeline for Neil Robertson.
Ronnie OSullivan, 61.
No, they can Neil dig something up here. He must be feeling it. Should have been closer to Ronnie OSullivan at least. I'm not saying in front. Now then, is this black available? Very thin at the centre. It's funny, you feel sometimes when you're in this position, you just got to go for them anyway, you know, and it's not quite like that, but 60 points behind. He went for the double.
Neil Robertson, 1.
He's not going to get another shot, I shouldn't think.
1.
Okay, you can say that was very positive, but there was easier pots than that. But of course, the black would have gone back on the spot, which he needed because he was well behind. One of the great things about this game of snooker, every time you visit the table, you have to make a decision.
7.
And you've got to stand or fall by your decision.
That's 11 blues he's taken in this frame. Amazing.
12th.
Not seen many frames like this, but it won't worry Ronnie OSullivan. He's one away from victory
13.
now. Try and get on the blow off this red then, Ronnie.
$18.
So that's enough there from Ronnie OSullivan. Neil Robertson sitting there now has lost 6 frames on the spin. It's a tough place, but Ronnie OSullivan just...
Lead now for O'Sullivan, 8-5.
It's been done before. Mark Selby, of course, against Ronnie was 8-5 behind in one of the tournaments. I think it was in the Masters, and came back to win the last 5 frames to pinch the match. And certainly 4 frames. So it has been done against Ronnie. But maybe not tonight. That's the kind of shots he's been knocking in all week. All these great players are great when they get into a position to win the frame and match. They usually
8.
make a sizable break. There's 3 loose reds on at least, if not 4. So Ronnie can certainly get a sizable lead in this frame, and he'll be going into the bunch as early as possible. I think that's been the key difference in this match. In the first 3 frames this evening, Robertson didn't go into the pack early enough.
$16. 70.
Thought about missing the first red. He can probably leave this red low and then bring another reds into play. That's what he's done now, so he'll be bringing another 2 reds into play. Looks like he's going to have to push it through quite hard, because I think he's hitting the first red virtually full ball, so he may screw off them. Yeah, screwing off them, but not guaranteed to get nice.
25.
He hasn't. So this is a pressure shot. That was a pressure pot made to look very...
Of course, the player in front
44.
starts to defend. He just... it's not that he's just losing frames and losing
45.
a good lead like Neil did today. Mentally, it hurts you, and you perhaps lose the peacefulness you have out there when you're playing really well. Everything seems
52.
a little more difficult. You haven't lost yet, though.
$53.
Neil beat Andrew Higginson.
$90. $91.
Not a natural angle to break these 2 reds into play. Has to play a little stun run through. Unlucky. He's going to have to play a plant. The crowd deserve a century.
98.
And they might just get one. Normal service resumed.
106. 107.
I don't know how he's done it today, to be honest. He's been out of sorts. Neil Robertson will be so disappointed. He gave Ronnie so many chances in the
114.
opening 3 or 4 frames. Could have won them all. Over 140 in this tournament. Unbelievable standard.
123.
I think the record was only 4 of above 140.
128. I'm a 34.
The money's very special. So is Neil Robertson. But Ronnie OSullivan is the man that's taken away with his trophy. He clears with a magnificent break of 141. Neil Robertson can only congratulate. A standing ovation from this packed Cardiff Arena. Ronnie OSullivan is once again the Welsh Open champion for the 4th time. Congratulations, Ronnie. He wins by 9 frames to 5.